Yo, yo, welcome back, folks, to another edition in the lab. This week, the UFC is in Baku for the main event of Baku's favorite son, Rafael Fiziev, versus Manuel El Loco Torres. Should be a hell of a main event. I'm so ready. I'm pumped. I'm coming off my best week with picks this year by far. Had a pretty good week last week. Um, if you weren't part of it, like and subscribe. Hopefully, you'll make some money with me this week. Help me help you and entertain you with the best predictions and breakdown videos. Now, let's go. Let's kick it off. Here in Baku, it's going to be in Baku, it'll be Saturday noontime here start. So that means the prelims are 9 o'clock in the morning, which is great with all the World Cup action going on. It gives us the rest of the day to do whatever we want. We can go out Saturday night. Kind of loving this. I'm looking forward to this early start here Saturday. All right, we're gonna kick it off with the first fight on the prelims. Tair uh, Abdulayev versus Jefferson Nascimento. Not gonna lie, guys, I don't know a ton of these guys. I have seen Tair on the regional scene a bit. He's pretty well rounded. I know he hasn't fought since like last year, somewhere around October or September, or something like that. Something towards the end of last year, not too much. So he's had rests. And Jefferson Nascimento is the opposite. He fought not too long ago, not under a month, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I mean, both of them are making their UFC debut. Um, I think from what I've seen, Jefferson seems to be a little more explosive. I know Brazilians travel well. Um, Zaire is on that side of the world, so he's not traveling too far. But Brazilians typically do travel well. Doesn't affect them, their game. Uh, People fight very well. If Tair takes Jefferson down, he could be in trouble. That could be a big plus for him, and that's the way I think he's gonna try to take the fight. But ultimately, I'm taking Jefferson Nascimento to win by decision, just because even though he's less experienced, and everything here is probably pointing towards Tair winning, I'm gonna take Jefferson to win. I don't know how. I think both of these guys are pretty durable and are going to try to earn their UFC spot. So I'm going to take Jefferson to win here by decision, but not putting much on this fight since I don't know much about these two guys. But uh, the next fight is going to be very explosive. Beksat, sorry, Makayan versus G Matsumoto. Um, Beckman, very, very decent fighter, 2-3 in the UFC. He's only lost to Umar Magomedov and Ilya Toporia's brother. So not really two bad losses at all. He's hard to finish. Always putting up a good fight. Um, and then his opponent, Gene Matsumoto, very, very high multi uh, style fighter, including the Contender Series. He's 4-2 in the UFC. He's also hard to finish. Only lost to Rob Font and Basharat. So I mean, those are not two bad decisions. I would like to see Gene use some takedowns, incorporate some takedowns into his fight. That is his clear path to victory here, as we have seen against Baksat. Um, Even though that's not his style, he's probably not going to. But I would like to see him. Here in the UFC. You can't fight the same. You can't use the same style as we saw Ilya a couple weeks ago. You got to incorporate different things into your fights, and every fight's going to be different. So, I'd like to see the growth of Gene Matsumoto here and use some jiu-jitsu, some takedowns, and kind of, fight a little different. But either way, if he does or doesn't, I am taking him to win by decision just because both guys are very durable. This fight, my best bet here is that this fight does at least reach round 2. I don't know if Gene is gonna incorporate some takedowns or not, but we will be entertained by these two guys. This was supposed to be the first fight, but then they added the fight before. But this is gonna be a banger here, folks, and I'm taking Gene to win by decision here. All right, the next fight, Danil Donchenko versus T. Bredgerin. Now, I'm a little pissed off here because he was supposed to fight Andreas Gustafsson, and I guess Gustafsson pulled out here, which people seem to always do here. This is what I don't like about the UFC, is how the frequency that fighters pull out so close to the events. Yeah, he was on here. Like, he must have just pulled out yesterday, I guess, or Sunday night. Yeah, I don't like guys coming in on short notice. It's either really good or really bad for them. Don't know much about this guy. I had Andreas Gustafsson, the previous opponent, winning by decision, but being that this guy is in on short notice, and Danil, he really needs a win here. It's gonna look really bad if he's been training all this time for a guy and he loses to a guy here not in the UFC on short notice. So I'm gonna switch here and take Danil Donchenko to win by finish. I think he'll TKO him. Probably not in the first round, but as the fight goes on, it might be a decision. I don't really know this other guy too well, but I'm gonna trust in the hunger of Donchenko and have him winning in the late rounds by TKO. All right, next fight. Con Offley versus Javier Reyes. Con Offley's on a 2-fight win streak here in the UFC. He's been getting better and better every time he makes a walk. I've seen some vast improvements in him. That being said, he's gonna get smoked here, folks. There's no clear cut. There's no way about it. He's gonna get smoked here. We saw Javier demolish a veteran like SDA a few months ago. He really made a statement. He has a significant height and reach advantage here. Offley, he won't be quick enough. That's gonna be his way to offset what Reyes has. It's just to be quicker with the punches and just beat him to it. But I don't think he's gonna be quicker or have the ground game that's needed to offset Reyes. And yeah, I'm just not liking this at all for him, to be honest with you. Yeah, I see a complete first round domination TKO. Maybe second, but either way, best bet here is this fight is not going the distance, and yeah, give me Javier Reyes to represent Colombia and get another highlight reel under his belt. All right, next fight we got Nursultan Rubiev versus Andrei Pulyaev. Here we go. This is gonna be a good one. I'm ready. I'm psyched up for this one. It's not gonna be too early already. That'll probably be around, maybe close to 11 o'clock. So we'll be awake by then, wide awake. You got two tall, lengthy, talented middleweights here. Both looking for a spot in the rankings. Both guys usually are involved in very entertaining fights. This has to be a good fight. I look at both guys and their resumes, and both guys, Ruzibaayev, he's 36-9-2. Granted, only 5 of those fights are in the UFC, but it's a lot of fights to have, man. Just to have those amount of fights at 31 years of age is very impressive. Guy likes to fight. Guy's very active. He stays active. You know, to have that amount of fights at the age of 31 is sick. Um, and then yeah, then you got Puliaev, who probably the only fighter to have gone and that will go the distance with Gaultier, the guy that nobody wants to fight. Gaultier, yeah, he went the distance with him. So, you know, for that reason and that reason alone, I'm gonna take Andre Puliaev to win here by decision, unanimous decision. But I'm expecting a good fight from both guys. And the best bet here is that it does reach at least round two, and this could easily be the fight of the night. So I'm looking forward to this one. Very rarely do we see a fight in the prelims that we're all hyped up for, but I am hyped up for this one. You know. All right. Next we got Abdul Rahman versus Julius Juiceman Walker. What are we doing here? Why would you put this undefeated monster up against Juicebox? I don't know. I think the UFC, especially after the last dismal performance that he had, you know, I'm not gonna waste time breaking this fight down, folks. Uh, just get the pick here is the best bet is Abdul on the money line. I'm not sure how he's gonna win, but this fight is not going the distance either way. Whatever happens, even if Julius Walker happens to get lucky, this fight is not going the distance. He might get a lucky shot in there, but I'm gonna say that Abdul Rahman gets his third submission in a row here, and Julius will get his pink slip and he'll be out of the UFC. But either way, I'm pretty sure Abdul's winning this fight. How? Stay tuned and watch him, and we'll find out. All right, next fight. Farman Hasanov versus Eric Nolan. Eric Nolan has a UFC appearance, lost by submission. I think he got subbed there by Sir Sakayev, the guy that trains with trains with Chimaev. Sorry. To be fair, I do believe this guy, Sir Sakayev, is gonna be a great fighter. He's undefeated, and I'm pretty sure Nolan took that fight on short notice. So, as a short notice opponent with a tough guy to go against, you really can't ask for much. He didn't have much to prepare for, and he put up a really good fight, in my opinion. So, you gotta give him credit. You gotta give him credit for having the stones to step up against an undefeated great fighter like that, and that earning his UFC debut like that. So, and you got Farman making his UFC debut now. I've seen some tape on him. He's just devastating guys, but they're lower level opponents. He's really running through the opposition, but on the regional scene, lower level guys, not so much talent. So he's looking like a world beater out there, but now he's in the UFC. And guess what happens when you're in the UFC, folks? Guess what happens? You're in the bright lights. And everybody shows off with you're up against the best competition. And let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can. Let's see if he is who he portrays to be. Some guys are. Some guys are. They kill it in the regional scene, and they come here and they don't skip a beat. And then we got some. I'm not gonna say no names who have killed people's parlays. Just they're excellent out there, but when they're here in the UFC, it's just not the same. So for this fight here, the best bet is that it does not go the distance. Because if this guy is who he's been in other promotions, it's going to be a short night. And yeah, and Nolan is no slouch, so I'm taking Nolan to win here by KO under a round and a half. So the best bet is that it does not go the distance. But yeah, give me Nolan to win here by KO. I think both guys are gonna probably late first or early second. They're gonna start swinging, and I think Nolan's gonna come out victorious. Um, yeah, just because he showed me a lot in that loss. He showed me that he is ready for the UFC, and I believe in him. All right. So the next fight is Abus Magomedov versus Michelle Oleksiejczuk. This is another good one. This is another good fight that I'm really interested to see. Um, Michael Oleksiejczuk, ever since he joined the Fighting Nerds, he's undefeated. You know, 3-0. He's been a completely different fighter. Swag level went way up. He wasn't bad before, but he would just make a mistake here and there, and that would cause him to fight, or he just wasn't who he is now. Now he's a complete fighter. Like, maybe sometimes guys leave the gyms and they go to other gyms and they just get a lot better. It happens. It happens a lot, actually, and it's been happening a lot lately. Look at Mauricio Rufy. It's just who he was, a fighting nerd, and then he's gotten a lot better since he left him. So I mean, who knows? But it is what it is. That's the truth, folks. And then Abus is a very efficient fighter. Doesn't take big risks. And what do I mean by that? I mean, he sticks to the game plan, and he usually listens to what the corner's telling him. It's 4-3 in the UFC. He does have an L to the leader of the Fighting Nerds, which is a very excellent fighter. I'm gonna put him in the top echelon there, but he has lost to him, so there is history between him and the Fighting Nerds. But this is a very tough one to call. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably the most tough fight that I have had to break down here. Well, not break down, but at least pick a winner. I like both guys. Like both trajectories that they're on. This is a tough one. Abus is he better not stand and trade too long with Oleksiejczuk, or it could not be it could be a quick night for him if he does that. But Michael, sorry, has to stay vertical, because if he gets taken down, then he has gotten better at his takedowns and his ground game, but that's where Abus will flourish. So he wants to stay vertical if possible at all costs. It's gonna be a pretty good fight. Best bet here is that it at least reaches round 2, because I do see this going, probably at least 8 minutes or so. I mean, these are two veteran guys that usually put up a good scrap. So, yeah, it's gonna at least reach round 2 and give me Abus to win by split decision. I think this is gonna come down to a timely 3rd round takedown, and yeah, 2 out of the 3 judges will score as 29-28, and Abus gets the victory here. But I wouldn't be surprised if Michael comes out with a win here. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So, very excited to see this fight, and we'll see what transpires here. All right, next fight is Ikram Aliskerov versus Bruno Ferreira. In 5 UFC fights, Aliskerov has looked great in all but one, and that's when he fought the veteran, the Reaper. Yeah, he made it. He made it an early night, and but that's Robert Whittaker. There's not many guys that are at that level and that are gonna bring it to a guy like that, like this guy. This guy's very dangerous. So Robert, for him to just come out and do that, it's gutsy, and it's it's Robert Whitaker, man. There's not many guys like him out there. So, that was 2 years ago. He's learned, he's improved. He's not the same guy. Um, you live and you learn. He took that L. No other fight has been like that. This guy's, he learned a tough lesson, and you can see that he's grown from that. Uh, and Bruno Ferreira, he has a shot to win here, but I don't know. It has to be early or late in the fight. Early, because the later the fight goes, the worse it is for him. He's not one of those guys that have a deep tank, so to speak. So yeah, I mean he's gonna look good. He may even rock Iskram at the beginning of the fight, but I believe as the fight goes on, I'm gonna trust Alaskarov to be more durable, if you will, out of the two, and that's gonna lead Alaskarov to what I think is gonna be a third round sub. Um, Either way, the best bet here is that this fight does not go the distance, but give me Alaskarov by third round sub. That has I gotta check what the prop on that is, but I'm really liking that stat here. All right, Alaskarov by sub. Um, yeah, we move on. Next fight, Asu Almabaya versus Charles Johnson. Um, Asu in his 7 UFC fights, uh, he has lost to Manuel Cape. Um, yeah, he's not a natural finisher, but he does. He tends to get a lot of control time, if you will. That's he's not a really big guy, so that's not very strong. But he steals minutes. He's very technical guy. If you slip, any little slip by the opponent, and he will try to submit him. So it's very quick with that. Um, this fight could look a lot like Asu's fight versus Manuel Cape, which did not fare well for him. Depends on how Charles comes. If he lets Asu dictate the pace, he's gonna favor him. But if Charles comes and presses forward and gets Asu on his heel, and that'd be good for Charles. So I believe Charles is making his 15th UFC walk. So he's a veteran. He's been around the block. He's 5 inches taller. He has a 5-inch reach. Everything's pointing at him to win here. Has Asu been working on his entry to takedowns? Because that's where I've seen him not look so good, is his entries. If he can fix that, he's going to be very, very dangerous in this division. But he has to work on that. That's his weakness. Is the entries to the takedowns. If he gets stuffed a couple times, he's clueless. And yeah, but this should be an interesting chess match here between both guys. My best bet here is that it reaches at least round 2. I'm gonna take the safest bet here. I had a problem picking a winner here. I'm gonna take the safest bet, and that's Charles Johnson to win by split decision, just because of the experience factor. Yeah, and round 1 is gonna be a key. So whoever can secure round 1 should probably be the winner. All right. Next, we got Nazim Sadikov versus Mateus Camilo. Camilo's 1-1 in the UFC, but only 24. Very raw. I haven't seen much of him. Really worried that he's about his lack of experience, especially for this match. I want to pick Camilo. I really do, but I feel he's too young here. His submission loss to Gabe Green last year makes me feel very uncomfortable. Gabe Green is not a world beater or anything. He's not bad, but just to lose to him by submission like that, it's not good. But Sadikov, this Russian guy that calls himself the Black Wolf. Um, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. He suffered his first KO to Siam, so uh, but before that, he had a really good streak going. He had a really long winning streak going. Both guys' records are really similar. Um, their records, their stats. Camilo's a little younger, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, this just like the last fight. Both of these guys could win, and I think they will both have their moments in this fight. The best bet here is that it reaches at least round two. I think it's gonna be a pretty good competitive fight back and forth. But yeah, give me Nazim Sadikov to win by split decision here. I just like his experience more. Um, he's a southpaw. I kind of like that. I don't think Camilo's too experienced against southpaw. So yeah, give me Sadikov to win by decision here, and I want to see a tough competitive match between both guys. All right, co-main event of the evening: the Pirates, Sharamagomedov versus Michel Pereira. This fight, this is interesting, guys. This Magomedov, the Bullet, guy's a modern day pirate. Um, has only one eye, but hasn't been finished. If that tells you everything, the guy has one eye, but he hasn't been finished. He only one loss, and that's to MVP, who many guys have a problem fighting his style of fight. This guy sideways, bouncing all around. He's hard to catch. Nobody really wants to fight him, but people do, and it turns out to be the most of the time a pretty boring fight. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's been his only L. Besides that, he's beaten everybody that they put in front of him. This guy's really really fun to watch. He's 16-1. It's really good for a guy with one eye. Then Michel Pereira, we've seen a significant decline in Michel Pereira in the recent years. He was almost out of the UFC. He had lost 3 in a row, and he finally beat Reese by decision. Last fight, pretty much not a very good look on both guys. It wasn't the best fight. But he did win by decision, so I mean he's still here. Fight could have gone either way if you ask me. It was one of those fights that was like watching paint dry. And that was Reese's opportunity to make a statement there, and he lost by decision. So I don't think Michel's gonna be so lucky this time. This guy, Shara Bullet, no Magomedov, doesn't have. He's probably the only Magomedov to not have a ground game. Not that he's a Magomedov, but that is his last name, so he is a Magomedov, but he's not one of those Magomedov, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, this guy comes to fight. This guy comes to knock people out. That's his game, and I think he's gonna get it. I think he's gonna get it here. Yeah, there's gonna be a time where these guys. It might be a little feel out, might not, because Michel Pereira is very unpredictable. So he'll either come out timid or he'll come out guns blazing, and I think both guys are gonna have an exchange at what point in the fight. I'm not sure, but I trust in Cheryl Magomedov to come out with an impressive KO, and Michel Pereira this is probably the last time we see him in the UFC. But he's not the same fighter anymore, so I mean it's all good. So the stuff he can do, guy's pretty talented. I'm gonna trust Michel. Sorry, Shara Magomedov here to come out with the victory, with the KO victory. But the best bet, just to be safe, is Shara on the money line, because this could go the distance. depending on what how Michel Pereira, if he feels threatened, he could take Magomedov down and steal a round or a half a round or whatever. But ultimately, I take Magomedov to win. Folks, if you haven't yet, like, subscribe, come along the journey. I've given you some pretty good feedback here. I'm feeling really, really good about this card. Yeah, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving every pick so far. This looks like another great possible opportunity for us to come up big. All right, so like, subscribe. Let's get to the main event. Rafael Fiziev, 13-5 versus Manuel El Loco Torres, 17-3. This guy Torres is 2 inches taller, 2-inch reach. Mexico versus the hometown boy. This guy is from Baku, so we're here. We're here. Manuel Torres. Let's go through the last 5 fights, okay? So the last 5 fights, Fiziev has spent 30 minutes losing to Justin Gaethje. He went the distance twice with JG. TKO to, Mateus Gamrot. Decision win versus Ignacio Bahamondes, so that's good, And then the loss to Rufi, of course. Not very good. Not very good his last 5. And then let's go to Manuel Torres. KO win versus Mota. Submission win versus Duncan. KO loss versus Bahamondes. Both guys exchanged the Bahamondes results there. KO win versus Drew Dober. And a round 1 KO win versus Grant Dawson. Different trajectories here, folks. Different trajectories. And this guy, everything tells you that Rafael Fiziev is gonna get the hometown win for everybody, and that's the way to end the fight here in his hometown and pick his career back up. Not so fast. Not so fast because, usually I've been watching this sport for a very long time, especially in the UFC. When guys fight at home, it doesn't go well for them, especially the first time. There's been a list of guys that have fought at home and just don't come out with a victory. Dustin Poirier retirement fight. The Black Beast at home got KO'd. The list goes on and on, folks. Not to pick on these people, but I'm just saying, I don't like this fight at all for Rafael Fiziev. I know he's at home. He's gonna get the home cooking, but he's going up against a very, very dangerous Mexican. Mexicans, they come to throw down. They travel well, just like the Brazilians. They travel very well. This guy's gonna be ready. This guy's a problem in the division. I see a clear KO victory here. Best bet is that this fight does not go the distance because it could go either way. This is the UFC. Both guys are, this 13-5 versus 17-3. But 5 rounds. There's no way this fight's going 5 rounds. There is a chance for either guy to win, but real UFC fans knows what happens to guys at home. And I'm just feeling too good about this Manuel Torres KO. And that's it. So I believe after this we're off. We're off next week. Enjoy your everybody. Have a very happy Independence Day weekend. Be safe. If you use fireworks, be very safe. And best of luck to you guys this weekend and gals. And I'll catch you in a couple weeks. Take care.